Welcome back to another episode of We Don't Know What to Watch, the podcast where two guys watch random movies and talk about them that were assigned all thanks to the almighty algorithm. All hail the algorithm. And with me as always is the amazing, the incredible, my doppelganger, the Lindsay Lohan to my Lindsay Lohan, Kyle Mulford. And I'm Noah Saturn. How you doing, Kyle?
Let's get together. Yeah. We'll make a movie podcast. I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm good. You know, it turns out that, did you know that we're twins?
I did know that. I knew it all along.
Even before we met at summer camp?
I say this, today's podcast is brought to you by a bottle of 83 wine because our podcasting dreams have no end.
Exactly.
Speaking of all that, what did we watch if the clues weren't enough?
We watched the 1998 Disney classic with Lindsay Lohan, The Parent Trap.
Lindsay Lohan and Dennis Quaid is here. Anybody who watched the Ellen Show back in the day knows that joke.
Can you imagine if it was Randy Quaid?
Well, that'd be a whole different ball game there.
Oh, no.
Then we have Natasha Richardson, R.I.P., because that's a sad story about how she died. There, an actress named Elaine Hendricks. I was like, I know her from something. And then I looked, I'm like, I don't really know her from anything, but like she's been in 141 movies and TV shows. So I think I've just seen her in a bunch of random things.
Yeah.
And then we'll get into another person, but let's go into first before we dive into this movie, quick synopsis though. And then we'll go into what I was going to talk about.
Two girls, one from England, one from the US, go to the same summer camp one summer. Then they realize, wait a minute, we're twins and we were separated at birth. I know what we got to do. We got to work together to get our parents to fall in love so that way we can all be together.
The end.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's go back to, first of all, this was directed by Nancy Meyers. This was her directorial debut. She's directed stuff like What Women Want, Something's Gotta Give, The Holiday, good movies. She wrote the screenplays for this and for the two Father of the Bride movies. So, she's got some cred behind her as a director. And then we have a composer, one Alan Silvestri, who did stuff like Back to the Future, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Mac and Me, Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. He also did The Avengers. And then he also did the score for The Father of the Bride, which was written by Nancy Meyers. So
I didn't know we had the same composer from Mac and Me.
Right?
The same dance sequence at McDonald's.
Well, and then he composed the Avengers theme, which the Avengers eventually had Paul Rudd, who goes on to Conan every time and shows a scene from Mac and Me. It's all full circle.
It's all connected.
And then we have a cinematographer by the name of one Dean Cundy, who did movies like Black Shampoo and Satan's Cheerleaders. And he did also like Halloween and Jurassic Park and Back to the Future. But that's one of my favorite noticing a cinematographer is because, I've seen a million of Dean Cundy's films. And then I was watching an old blaxploitation movie one time, and I was watching it's called Black Shampoo, and I'm watching it going, this is a terrible movie. It's a 70s blaxploitation movie, whatever. I love them. They're fun, even when they're terrible. But I was going, there are some interesting shots in here. I wonder if this cinematographer went on to do anything else. And then I watched the end credits roll, cinematography by Dean Cundy. I was like, no way. That's crazy. I was like, yeah, he did go on to do some things.
My favorite random cinematographer fact, I believe, was Emmanuel Luzbecki. He did Cool as Ice, and then shortly afterwards, he did he did Schindler's List.
Oh yeah, because he's the new Spielberg go-to guy because Dean Cundy used to be.
Yep.
Yeah. So this has got some good stuff behind, or some good people behind it. Dean. Although the cinematography, I have to say, in this, I don't know what was going on, but there was a couple of freeze frame moments that didn't need to be freeze frame. And it was weird. I was like, is my video just pausing, or is this a weird, kind of a weird cut? So I was a little disappointed in some of the shots and kind of like the cuts and stuff. So, but that might have been more the editing.
Yeah,
So
or just kind of the direction. Who knows?
yeah. This was also the first feature-length film for one Lindsay Lohan, who I believe was like 11 years old when she had auditioned.
Nice.
Yeah, she got this. This was actually supposed to, I think Michelle Trachtenberg was going to do this, but had to back out for something. And this is one of two Disney movies that she backed out of that Lindsay Lohan took. It was this one and Freaky Friday.
Well, I thought it was life size, but
but yeah, so this one, starts out with these two girls going to camp. They're identical. They don't know each other is there yet, and they run into each other at camp, and it's kind of a fun scene when they first meet each other because they both show that they're really good at fencing. So it's a scene where they can both have a mask on and not realize that they're actually, fencing their identical twin. And then they take off the mask and they're facing away from each other because they're mad at each other. And they're like, why don't you turn around and say, good match to the other one? And they turn around and everyone's like, they're identical.
huh?
What?
And then they start a prank war against each other.
Oh my dear God, what they do, what one of them does to the other one's bunk. And then they get sent to an isolation cabin, just the two of them off in the middle of the woods by themselves.
It's like, is this going to end in murder?
It's like, are they at Camp Crystal Lake? I don't know.
I hope so.
Oh, but here's a connection to a movie we did just a couple of movies ago. Both of them enjoy playing poker. And so they're both trying to get each other to play poker and everything. And then there's one of them gets a flush and the other one goes, Your Highness, here's a royal flush, because one of them is British.
Nice.
And not only are they playing poker, but one time when they're playing poker together, they're like, hey, I love Oreos with peanut butter. And the other one's like, I love Oreos too with peanut butter. I'm going, give the girls their money.
Yes. I want to see just everything except about Rounders is exactly the same, just with 12-year-old Lindsay Lohan.
Right. Oh, Teddy KGB, you stole my Oreos.
Exactly.
What are you doing eating them without peanut butter? I just thought that was a funny connection, especially since I just posted and I edited and posted that Rounders episode this past weekend, and
nice.
And then I watched this movie. I'm like, no way. And it was made the same year too. This is 1998.
It's all connected.
It is.
Now if we can just bring them both back to Mac and Me, then we're good.
Wait, who are the producers on these two movies? I need to see if this conspiracy theory fits.
Of course.
So yeah, they get in the isolation cabin, and that's when they realize, okay, we're identical, but then, oh, you've got a ripped half of a picture of your dad. Oh, you've got a ripped half of a picture of your mom, but you've never met them. And then they put their ripped halves together and they match. And so they're like, oh, here's the thing that gets me about this movie and the original. It's, you eventually learned, in this one, I don't remember what their excuse is in the first one or in the original, but in this one, they're like, we decided to just each take a kid so that we wouldn't have to see each other ever again. I'm like, you just separated, you just took one because well, I've got one. I don't need the other. They're identical. Mm-hmm. Who does what? That seems so outlandish and bizarre to me. I can't get over the fact that you're just like, well, there's two of them came out of you. I'll take one, you take the other. We'll go our separate ways. It's like,
yep.
I don't know. But that's just me. I don't know if that bothers anyone else.
Yeah, I forgot how much of this movie takes place at the summer camp.
Yeah, that actually went quite a ways. It was like a half hour.
Yeah, because so movie, almost like a full half hour or so of this movie is dedicated then to just establishing the characters and getting to know them at summer camp, which I think really works in the payoff later.
It really does, and this one and the original are actually both 2 hours and 9 minutes. I think I read somewhere, and it goes by pretty quick for a 2 hour, 9 minute movie. I was enjoying it the whole time. So, it goes to, here's the camp scene, and then it goes to, the act 2 where one's in, Great Britain and one's in a California vineyard, and kind of cutting back and forth between them. And then we come to the climactic scene, or, phase 3, now I lost the word. I just said it.
Phase 3, get mom and dad back together and get rid of the fiance.
Act 3. I was like, I just said Act 2. And get rid of the mean fiance, because it's always a mean fiance, so that you don't feel bad about getting rid of him.
Mm-hmm, yes. Elaine Hendricks is so great. She doesn't have that much screen time, but she's so good at being just absolutely the worst.
As soon as I marry him, I'm getting rid of you. I'm sending you off to a boarding school. You little twerp. Oh, before we leave the camp, though, there is a character that doesn't go anywhere, but just cracked me up, because you just see him in the background, and it's an all-girls camp, and some kid goes up to a counselor and goes, I thought this was a all-boys camp. And all the girls around him start laughing. Boys camp. What? And then you see, like, in a cafeteria scene where they're talking, like, the camp counselors are talking to, like, the two twins, and in the background, he's on the phone going, Mom and Dad, this is like an all-girls camp. You got to get me out of here. I don't want to be like, and that's about all you see of him, but it was cracking me up.
And then he keeps showing up in the camp scenes. And you see him so apparently he was there the whole time, because when they're leaving camp at the end of that sequence, he's still there. He's like, oh, bye, girls. I miss you so much.
And you know who that was?
Who was it?
It was Michael Lohan, Lindsay Lohan's younger brother.
Nice.
But yeah, I just thought that was kind of funny, because they didn't go anywhere with it, but it was just a funny background character. It's just like, what is this boy doing here? Why'd they write him in? I don't know, but it's funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, then they decide to switch places. One of them has got a British accent, one doesn't. And so, for being like 11 or 12 years old, I think Lindsay Lohan did a really good job of going between the different accents.
Yeah, that's gotta be tough, especially when she's trying to be, when she has to like fake or do her accent poorly on purpose, or then do an American accent poorly on purpose. It's difficult. And then being able to do that at like 12 is definitely takes a lot of hard work.
Showing her promise as an actress at that age. It's just too bad that, she went on to do the things she did. I don't think she had a great childhood growing up. I think she was in acting at like age 3 in TV shows and commercials and shit. And then she got into the party phase because she was a child actor. And after her Disney phase, and then going into the 2000s, she got her DUIs and went into rehab and all this stuff. And so she kind of just fell off. I think she's still doing stuff. She had like a music career, and then she did some more acting, but like she kept getting into trouble with alcohol and all that crap. So
yeah, I think she's kind of done acting for now, trying to focus on other parts. But
yeah, it's too bad, because she had a lot of talent, but I think it was just one of those where she didn't survive the childhood acting scene. It was too much for her, I guess.
Yeah,
but she did a really great job in this. And then being over in England, they cross Abbey Road, and that was one of the freeze frame spots I was talking about. There were more that didn't make sense. This one, it was like, at least they were doing the token Abbey Road freeze frame of them walking across the crosswalk. And I think it was actually while a cover of a Beatles song was playing.
Oh, subtle.
Yeah, very subtle. So then you go to the California vineyard where Dennis Quaid. So the mom is the one over in Britain, and she's like a fashion designer, and then the dad is Dennis Quaid over in he owns a vineyard, and he's the one who's going to get married to a new woman who is actually just a gold digger. And so one of the other twin goes back to California, and I like that the dog knows what's up.
He's like, I don't understand you. Woof, woof, always barking at her.
Yeah, and then we see that two of my favorite characters, the one in Britain gets the butler. I can't remember what was his name. He was Martin, played by Simon Kunz. I liked him. And then over in the vineyard, the other kid gets a kind of a nanny there played by Lisa Ann Walter, who plays a lady named Chessie. And so they were kind of fun characters, and then they kind of get their little love story at the end, which you were kind of hoping for that to happen.
Yeah, that was fun. They both were really great. So I'm not sure if you've been watching lately, but Lisa Ann Walters is now on the TV show Abbott Elementary.
Oh, okay. No, I haven't seen that show.
On Hulu. Yeah, that one. It's like kind of like a workplace mockumentary style comedy based out of an elementary school in Philadelphia. It's very funny.
I think I saw part of it. I think my wife was watching an episode upstairs once. But yeah, so they're at their other parents' house just because they're like, oh, I never saw my dad before. Oh, I never met my mom before. And so they wanted to do that. And then they find out that the dad is getting married. They're like, oh, we got to hurry up with our plan here and get you here. And we got to tell them that we're not the right twins so that they get together. And then during like the rehearsal dinner and all that stuff at a hotel, they concoct a plan to get both parents there. And then shenanigans happen. And weren't you wearing a different you were over there and now you're over here and you were wearing a different outfit and what is happening? So it's kind of, there's some fun scenes in there. And then they finally get, the mom and dad together. And then at the end, there's a camping trip that the mom and the dad are supposed to go to before the mom goes back home. And they're like, oh no, I think it'd be better if the new fiance goes instead. And so then the twins are mad about that and start playing pranks on her with like a lizard and
then they get most insane where like they take her air mattress out of the tent and then put it in the river.
I have the old bed on the water gag.
Classic.
that you see in all the old like 70s and 80s cartoons. I don't like this guy. Let's play a trick on him and put his bed on the water. But so they kind of do that and kind of show the woman for the fiance for who she is, and then their little scheme works, and mom and dad get together, and the butler and the nanny get together, and all is well.
Yep, they get remarried, yada, yada, yada.
They get together, yeah. I like that they put a little nod to that where like there's a scene in the hotel where one of the twins is walking to the elevator and she just kind of sings that under her breath. Nice. It's like that's a song that's out there that wasn't in a Disney film that like she's in a remake of. But I thought that was kind of fun. I was like,
I've never seen the original I've just seen this one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think there's different nods to the original in this one. Some of the character names were named after, characters from the first one. And I can't remember if any of the actors came back. I guess Haley Mills was asked, but she wasn't available. So the two twins in this are named Hallie and Annie. And that's actually, they're named after the director's real life daughters.
Oh, that's cute.
And then I think both of her daughters play a cameo, and one of them plays a character named Lindsay to be named after Lindsay Lohan.
Bless you.
Excuse me. But yeah, so I don't know if there's much else to say about this. It's a Disney movie, so
we could probably go deeper, but I'm not necessarily sure we want to or we need to. But I guess a little bit of my personal history with this movie is the weird part is like it seemed like it was on ABC Family, or now called Freeform, like once a month. And then like, okay, I'd watch part of it, then I'd watch another part of it, but I had never actually seen the entire movie all the way through before.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine it was probably on that, being a Disney movie. So, And this is one of those that I think a lot of people remember fondly.
Yeah,
from
still like
late 90s. I was in college, so I think I saw this one, but like it didn't really stick with me because I wasn't young enough for it to be one of those that I watched a lot.
Yeah.
So, but watching this again, this one was, we did actually recently watch the original with our children, and this one had a lot of similarities. And actually, Nancy Meyers wrote the screenplay for this and still gave credit to the screenwriter of the original movie because so much was kept the same.
Yeah, that's good.
So, and I think this was also based off of a book originally.
I believe so. That sounds right.
Yeah. So it's a really cute movie. So why don't we go into actually Chekhov's checklist. Wasn't a lot in this one. I had the Chekhov's prank, the Chekhov's camp pranks, because at the beginning they kind of showed that they can be little pranksters. So then at the end when they had to do that for the fiance.
Yeah.
But I don't know if there was anything else that really stood out to me that kind of came back, because they were at the camp for the first half hour of the movie. So there's not much you can put in there to come back later in the movie.
I don't know what I mean. Chekhov's life preserver with that life preserver from the Queen Elizabeth II.
Oh yeah, right. So yeah, not much of that. There's probably some stuff we're missing, but anyway, would you recommend this movie?
Yeah, it's sweet. I think it's still a good family film for what it is.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna say yes. Also, here's my caveat with that though: is I don't think this is one as an adult you're just gonna go. I just want to sit and watch a 1998 Disney movie, unless you're still young enough that like you were young when this came out, and you're like, oh, I want to revisit that. Cool. Or if you have kids, like if you've got kids, even if you didn't grow up watching this one, this is a really great movie to sit and watch with your family. I think I just a sweet movie, and it really holds up as a good family film.
Yeah, a lot of people my age and a little younger definitely it's a much more nostalgic film for them because it came out when I was young.
Yeah. So yeah, this is a recommend, especially if you have a family and some young kids to watch this with. So what will be your double feature, since we both like this movie?
Yeah, so this segment is double features, where in this case, if we like the movie, what should go with it? Or if we didn't like the movie, what should go instead? So obviously we both like this movie. So in this case, I am probably going to have to go with another Disney film. I'm going to go with the original version of That Darn Cat.
Nice.
Starring Haley Mills and I believe it's 64, 65, because there was a while we talked about on the podcast, we're just trying to go through the 60s and 70s Disney live action movies because that was a bit of a blind spot for me. We had some good ones like The Absent-Minded Professor, That Darn Cat, and the Biggest Dachshund or whatever, or The Ugly Dachshund, because it was actually a Great Dane, stuff like that.
Shaggy Dog, Shaggy DA.
Mm-hmm. I didn't see those. I did see the OG Shaggy Dog and the Tim Allen Shaggy Dog. I have not seen the Shaggy DA, but I also did watch The Cat from Outer Space, which was amazing.
I need to watch that. I got to pop on Disney Plus and watch that one. I'm going to go a different route, and I'm going to go with, because these came out when I was in college age and a little beyond. It wasn't ones that I watched a lot, but for some reason I always lumped these together, even though they were 5 years apart, just because they were Disney movies. They were Lindsay Lohan popular Disney movies. I'm going to lump it with Parent Trap and Freaky Friday from 2003. And I actually, just to make sure that this is a good recommendation, because it's been a long time, I had seen both of these before, but I hadn't seen them in a long time. So just to make sure, I went on Disney Plus and watched Freaky Friday with Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis. It holds up. It's also a cute movie, and really holds up on the performance of Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis. Their performances are just really great. Especially Jamie Lee Curtis playing a 16-year-old is a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, she's so great.
And I was surprised at how much I really enjoyed that. And I watched it after watching how well Lindsay Lohan did as an 11 or 12-year-old, playing an accent and then playing two completely different people that are twins, and then playing Freaky Friday, where it was another one where she had to play herself at her age, and then she had to play, herself as Jamie Lee Curtis, inhabiting her body. And I'm going, man, she really was a talented actress, and it's just too bad that, things went awry for her.
One of my favorite lines from Freaky Friday is when Jamie Lee Curtis looks in the mirror after the body swap and is just like, I'm like the Crypt Keeper.
Yes. I'm so old. Hey.
Exactly.
I'm like the Crypt Keeper. Yeah. Jamie Lee Curtis's performance is so fun, because she doesn't go over the top. She does very there's a couple scenes where it might verge on over the top, but most of it's very just subtle little things, like putting her feet up on the seat in the car, and just little mannerisms that she did that were that is really good at getting down the 16-year-old mind frame, and it was fun to watch her in this movie, and I think that, like I said, Lindsay Lohan did a really great job in this one too, and I would recommend this. Would be a really good double feature.
Yep.
So, but beyond that, let's move on to the final segment of the show.
Now we got to spin the wheel. What should we do next, Kyle?
Spin the wheel. Any score.
Spin
70 or better.
Wheel of fish.
Oh, you're so stupid. Spin.
You found the marble in the oatmeal. You're going to take a drink from the fire hose.
That's my mop. You took my mop.
Stanley Spadowski. Stan.
Okay. We have got a 2019 film labeled as a thriller/drama.
Ooh.
Several friends travel to Sweden.
Sweden? Oh, no.
To study as anthropologists a summer festival that is held every 90 years in the remote hometown of one of them. What begins as a dream vacation in a place where the sun never sets gradually turns into a dark nightmare as the mysterious inhabitants invite them to participate in their disturbing festive activities.
This is clearly about the Olympics, isn't it?
It is.
Yes,
How did you guess?
I knew it.
It's Chariots of Fire.
Yes.
2019's Midsummer.
I've been not... I guess I never really cared to watch this film. It didn't seem that much interesting to me. It's like, why would I want to watch this when I already have The Wicker Man? Both versions of The Wicker Man.
I will say that I've seen this, and there will be stuff to talk about. I actually like this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I like Ari Aster. He's an interesting director. So this and Hereditary. Hereditary went off the rails for me in the last third of the movie, but I really like the first 2/3. I like this movie. So this one is on Canopy.
Also, all I know is that also Fubo
TV if you have a subscription to that, and Showtime. So I'll be watching on Canopy.
I'll probably also watch it on Canopy. So the only thing I know is that it's the gal who plays Yelena in Black Widow.
Yes, Florence Pugh.
And then also William Jackson Harper, who plays Chidi on The Good Place.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. He's in that. I've only seen the first few episodes of Good Place so far.
Oh, I love The Good Place so much. You got to watch more of it.
It's also got Jack Rayner, who plays the older brother on Sing Street, which is one of my all-time favorite movies ever.
Nice.
So
I guess we'll have to find out if this is a good for her type of horror movie.
Yeah, I will watch anything with Florence Pugh in it. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I think she's awesome. But anyway, yeah. So until then, you can find us online at Twitter. I'm at AwesomeKM.
I'm at Noah_Saturn. That is spelled Satern.
And we're on Instagram at We Don't Know What to Watch. And you can email us, we don't know what to watch @gmail.com. Like our video. Do it. Like it. Comment below. Tell us how awesome we are. How amazing we are. And subscribe and listen to our episodes.
And until then, the bees! Not the bees! They're in my eyes! This won't help you from getting any of your goddamn honey!
Until next time, let's get together. Yeah.
We'll
have together. The bees! The bees!